that was good. Was it not?
So good.
That was Me First and the Gimmie Gimmies.
Man, we saw them over the weekend.
Yes, we did. I know we mentioned them before, and they're, like a super group, of the punk world, I guess.
Like a quick rundown of like what they are and who they are real fast.
Well, they have members there's Joey from Lagwagon, there is Fat Mike from NoFX, there is Spike from Swingin' Utters. There is,
Now Spike is the lead singer, right?
Yes, he's a lead singer. Jake is the other guitarist, and then on the drums is usually, from Strung Out. I'm totally drawing a blank.
Oh no.
Starts with a D. I want to say Dave. I believe it's Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all in other bands, and then they get together, and in this band they just do cover songs. So,
which is great.
And it is. We saw Strung Out in Lagwagon recently, a couple weeks ago, and so since the members of those are still kind of touring, when Me First came in, they actually had guest musicians.
Yeah.
They came in and played, and so that was kind of cool. One of them was the drummer from The Damned. And they're an old punk band. They're really cool. That was pretty interesting. And then CJ Ramone, who is from the Ramones.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And he still has this like total dirty New York slang.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing out there? It kind of sounds like Jonesy or something
what
like that.
was the girl's name?
Bad
The
Cop.
girl. Okay.
And I have heard of that band. They're like a girl-fronted punk band.
She had like a real raspy voice.
Yeah. She kind of had like a cinder block kind of voice from like Tilt or something like that.
She sounds like she's been screaming.
But she, we kept telling each other that, dude, it totally looks like Flo.
Yeah, it was.
She
really
looked
funny.
like Flo, the progressive lady.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, she's totally gonna throw out shirts cards or something at some point. Something's going on here. I don't know.
She should be here for Halloween. That's for sure.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
Loves that she probably gets.
Yeah, she probably does. She's probably like, dude, seriously. I know, I get that all the time.
So it was so much fun, and it was at a real intimate like restaurant spot.
Yeah,
called
Amplified Live.
Yeah.
It used to be the Gas Monkey restaurant, and then there was a Gas Monkey Live, which is like a completely separate spot. Yeah, and they'd redone this because I was only in there once when I'd actually like lost my phone at a previous show there, and we won't talk about.
Wonder how that happened.
No, yeah, it's 4 years ago, so it was in the haze of alcohol.
Yeah,
but it was more of like a country setting, or whatnot.
This was like real open.
Yeah, they really they'd redone it, and it had more of like a House of Blues kind of thing. They had guitars on the wall and drum kits,
they had
like in the
face-to-face skateboard.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, exactly.
That's his favorite band, if you don't know.
Yep,
so
that's my favorite.
that was really cool.
Yeah,
Deborah Harry was like next to it, so that was cool.
Yeah, they had a lot of really cool little memorabilia all over the place. It was awesome. And then in the show itself, it did have like a kind of House of Blues look to it. The upper level and the bottom. That was like the balcony VIP area, but down. I mean, and there was fairly enough room. I mean, they put up like the front barrier, so it really pushed everybody into like a total feel or whatever.
But then we were downstairs and we had a pretty good view, pretty good space. I was in a dress,
Yeah, you're looking.
I was wearing some like cool new like combat boots, so I could have like really kicked some butt.
As they would say at a punk show, you're wearing your shit kickers.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep, I was definitely like, but I was still in a dress, so I didn't want to be like up in the pit. And everybody's so drunk. And the men are large. I'm like, I would be pushed down.
Yeah, and I hate it when they have to take their shirts off. And I understand it because you're sweating or whatever and you're drunk. But it's like, because it's hard. Like when I get in the pit, like I don't really do that much anymore. But like when I did, and you're trying to like push the guy off, and it's like pushing your hands against a wet car, just kind of just slides off. You're like, oh,
you're like,
you don't go anywhere.
Falls into his back.
Yeah. Sometimes you get like pushed into the guy, and like your ear gets like pushed against his back, and you're like, oh, dude, I've got like his ear sweat on his back sweat on my ear.
Oh,
I think I can hear it.
Gross.
Oh yeah, dude, that's
awesome.
It
starts moving like 3 people in front of me. It starts getting that close, and my anxiety hits the roof. I'm like, nope, I like back up. I'm like, babe, let's go upstairs. I don't want it. No. But then it was fun to be upstairs and watch them and kind of make fun of the pit. Not make fun, but like, oh my gosh, look at that guy. Push that guy really hard.
There were a couple of girls that were in there going crazy.
There were some girls
cool.
but they were big, like the dudes.
Yeah,
too,
they're big.
So they were like taking it. and giving it.
Or they're giving it, yeah.
And then one girl fell. Oh man!
But I do like the camaraderie at a punk show. Though,
Yeah, when
because,
they fall,
even in the pit,
yeah,
like they fall down, kind of like somebody will pick you up, or if it's too rowdy, sometimes they'll form a circle so
you gotta
somebody
be young
can
to do that. I mean, like one good hit and I'm out for weeks.
Yeah, I had a buddy who got his eye kicked in, or not kicked in, but he had got a black eye from somebody's boot. Somebody's dock, like, I mean, and you're just going around kind of flailing your feet in the air, and when you go down, sometimes you get a pop right in the face. I've never gotten one, thank goodness.
Too old for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
at 46 years old, yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because recovery time isn't the same anymore. What?
Definitely not the same, man. When I went down at the roller rink, when we first got married, I was shaking my booty for you, and I swirled down and twisted my ankle. I was out for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Dumb. Like,
I was just skateboarding on that little bowl or whatever, like totally skinned up my leg from it.
That's kind of hot. You got like skin skateboard.
Like bloody socks.
Fresh wounds.
But it's like the recovery time is so much longer now, though.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's all like, you used to get up the next morning because we're older. It
Sucks.
But, that's the way life is. But that was a great show. That was a lot of fun.
So
and they played some really good songs.
Yeah.
They played End of the Road. They ended with End of the Road by Boyz II Men.
Which we are going to end with today.
Yeah, we will. We started with we started with I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, which comes from a country album that they covered. Every album had a theme.
Yeah.
And so on the country album, this was one of the songs by Hank Williams.
I really like that guitar.
Yeah. It really, man, they just kind of, I like the momentum. I like the energy. The energy is just kind of, it's straightforward, but his vocals are great. And he's funny. He's a funny frontman. He's
funny. It's a little bit of comedy.
Yeah. This next one's a cover. Our last one's a cover. He'll tell little stories, and they are pretty funny, I mean, they're like just kind of quirky and witty and whatnot.
I kind of wish we stayed just the extra 10 minutes and went for the set list.
I'm probably gonna go on it.
I don't know. I'm gonna start wearing jeans and these boots and sweatshirts to punk shows. Mm-hmm. I've been wearing heels and tight dresses. Yeah. And that's just like cute for you, but not really.
Cool. But I mean,
it doesn't really like. It's not. It's like I want to be free to be able to like swing it if I want to.
Oh, just in case you get into a jam.
It's like working out, Like I need to go like in my workout clothes.
It is fun.
Sneakers.
It is fun. And I mean, a lot of the times too, when you get in the pits, and if you are like a smaller girl, like I noticed even the guys in that pit, like with the girls, they're not like knocking them around like they would necessarily the guys. I mean, it's a little because guys are also afraid they don't want to like accidentally
touch a boob.
Yeah, and then the boyfriend's like around, or the girl's like dick and pops in the face, and then it just escalates.
Yeah. And they're all drunk, and I'm not.
And there's no reason. You're trying to reason with somebody in a pit who's
like
drunk.
talking to a toddler.
Yeah, or a telephone pole.
There was like this really large man next to us who was very, very drunk and making me very nervous.
Yeah, he was very.
I was like, please do not fall on us.
Yeah, I know. It's just kind of like swaying,
and like laughing. Those like.
Yeah, he was having a good time.
Those balloons.
His gravity was like offset.
You like punch and it falls down and comes back up.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what he was doing. He's like, it's a great show, man. You're like, oh yeah, gravity works.
Yeah.
Hope the moon's working tonight.
So we went to that show, and then we are spoiled little brats because we also went to another show.
Yeah. We went and saw Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Yes.
Do their show.
Both in their 70s.
That was an interesting show because we didn't really know. Yeah, both in their 70s. Yeah. Steve Martin was what, 77? Martin Short was 72 because Steve Martin said the joke about that, like, oh yeah, you can switch the numbers around and it's still the same or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But
you could tell they're just really darling friends.
Yeah, they met on the set in 1986, I guess, on Three Amigos. Like that's what was cool because we didn't know what to expect going in because, I mean, he plays the banjo. Martin Short kind of does more show tune type things, and then they're both pretty funny guys, but they're not necessarily like comedians. I mean, they are comedians, but it's like,
Not like stand-up comedians, but
like they did. I mean, that's kind of how Steve Martin got his shtick or got his way in. But like,
I knew it was like
you don't really
roast.
know him that way though. It's kind of strange. It's weird.
Yeah, because he's not just in movies, you know.
And then like, I mean, he's
in
been
my
like
world. I've only known him from movies.
Like you would have thought he'd been a regular on Saturday Night Live, but he was just a guest star. And at one point, he had more. He was he had more guest stars on that show than anyone else. But I think like Alec Baldwin or somebody like that.
Who's still guest starring.
Yeah, still guest starring.
This week.
But he had all the classics, the Wild and Crazy Guys and all that stuff,
Steve Martin wrote Three Amigos.
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't know that.
I
didn't know
Short
that either.
was like, he wrote it, right? And everybody in the crowd, I swear, was like, what?
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, and that was cool the way they did it because we didn't know what to expect going into the show.
Yeah.
And then it was really just them completely talking about themselves.
Yeah.
This is me as a baby. This is me. Yeah, and that's what was cool because when they started off doing that, it was like Steve Martin would show his baby picture and Martin Short would
make fun of it,
or jab it. Yeah, I mean it was a total. Yeah, it was like a roast. It was like a Dean Martin roast, and it was like that old school kind of like comedy too. It wasn't like that vaudeville kind of feel. It wasn't like
although he was a very
dirty language stuff all over the place. Even though there were a few words, but it was funny.
Yeah.
The comedy was interesting.
Martin Short is very theatrical.
Yes, he is.
He's
very. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And but he is. I mean, I think that's just part of his
always
thing.
On.
Yeah.
Not that he's.
I mean,
he's on stage right now, but I don't know. It's just he's very.
He seems big. Like if he was at like an international house of pancakes, he'd be like, yes, I would like the blueberry pancakes with lots of butter. Like it just seems like that's how he'd always be. And then Steve Martin would just be like, just let me. I don't know. Come back to me. It's kind of funny. But man, that was awesome to see their performance.
Yeah.
Because they really, man, they're funny. And the way they went about their humor, it was just kind of these really quick little things you almost had to catch and listen to, like, my parents got married back in the 50s. They had a mixed gender wedding. They did that in the 50s. It's like, oh, dude, that's awesome. You had the picture of him up in, like when he was 14 or whatever, and he had like a stick or I don't know, it was a bayonet, and he had like that pose or whatever, and he's like, this is the picture my parents took before I went to camp to not be gay. And this is what I looked like when I came back. And he had like big old bushy beard and had a banjo in his hand or whatever, It was pretty funny.
It was funny.
And Martin Short, like his little story of this family and everything, that was kind of, he was family of 5 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and they said, we don't do interviews. That's true. That's right. We don't normally do interviews. We don't share a lot of our life, so this...
Yeah, this is our opportunity.
We wanted to do that on this tour.
And then what do you say? And plus, we don't know how to save.
It's
like those little things. You're like, oh, dude, that's awesome. They still got it. Or Martin Short comes out like, I'm sorry, I'm late. Does anyone have change for 100 or something like that? I don't want to keep my Uber needs change. You don't want to keep Will Smith waiting. It's like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And then those little things they had in Hollywood. The stories they're telling about like impersonations and have you ever met the person that you've impersonated. And Martin Short had that interesting story about the makeup artist on Saturday Night Live and the character that he did or whatever. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, you don't want to give away too much of their material.
I like Steve Martin's line though, like, how Martin Short's like, I do a lot of, if anyone knows, or Steve Martin says it, like if anyone, as everybody knows, Martin Short can do a lot of impersonations, and I don't really do a lot of those because I don't have to. But it's just like, oh man, that's awesome.
So they like roast. Yeah.
Yeah, But
I love it though.
I was talking to my boss though, Max, and he was saying how they just ran that show through Palm Desert, I guess. So I guess that they are.
Oh, so they're doing a circuit.
They're going all over the place with it. So
I
guess they just passed California though. I don't know if they're coming back.
We went off script.
They did.
And Martin Short. So it was Steve that went off, and Martin Short's like, "See what happens when you go off script, now I don't know where to go back to where I was.
Yeah.
They're like arguing with each other. Like,
it's like total old friends.
Dirty old man.
You know? Yeah.
What is it? Grumpy old
men.
Dirty old men.
Dirty rotten scoundrels.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, their chemistry is good.
For sure.
They play well off each other, for sure.
What would you say your favorite Steve Martin movie is? If you had to pick like one or two, Desert Island, you can only take 2 Steve Martin movies. I like Steve Martin. I don't know.
I don't know if I would go. Okay.
I don't like go to an island with Steve Martin's movies.
Father of the Bride would have
That's
to
like
be my favorite, and actually probably my favorite with the 2 of them. Like, Martin Short's
exactly.
favorite. It's my Martin.
The second one, he really spotlighted that movie. Martin Short. He had like a bigger role,
Yeah, so I think that I really want Steve Martin to be like
your dad,
my dad, or like an uncle or someone, I
know he's got that total
look up
feel.
to him, like family member. He's so, I don't know, inviting,
Yeah.
So what
like
about you?
Bride.
Yeah, Father of the Bride. And Roxanne too, pops up like real fast for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say. One of the first, really, for me, probably Parenthood.
Yeah, Parenthood, that's good
I love
too.
Because you get to see a lot of his physical humor when he's like the
hilarious.
cowboy and all that, because Cowboy Dan didn't show up or whatever it was. But it would. But man, he's got so many. LA Story, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And we got Thanksgiving coming up. That's like almost you gotta watch that Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's not really.
They've done a lot. I don't know. I wasn't thrilled with the Jack Frost character.
Oh yeah, Martin Short for me. I think Three Amigos. Because once again, it spotlights both of them.
Yeah.
Or Three Fugitives. If you haven't seen Three Fugitives, Nick Nolte and him. Oh, it's great. Like Nick Nolte is a ex-bank robber gonna go straight. He's at a bank to cash his first check out of prison, and Martin Short needs money for his daughter who's dying, so he goes in there to rob the bank and takes Nick Nolte as a hostage.
I think I have seen it.
And it's silly, but it's like Martin Short's physical humor, and he's awesome in it. It's hilarious.
They're both physical humor. It's funny.
Or Inner Space. Martin Short in Inner Space. Remember with him and Dennis Quaid?
Body?
Yeah. I'm possessed! Oh. Honestly, that would probably be my favorite Martin Short movie.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
Can our kids watch that?
Yeah, it's PG.
Oh, we should watch that. That's good.
Yeah, that one's good.
Ooh.
We
should.
All right.
Although it's Halloween. This is our Halloween episode.
Yeah, we've been watching Addams Family, Hoobie Halloween, a few Treehouse of Horror, which may be questionable.
Which is Simpsons. I don't know if everybody knows what Treehouse of Horror is.
Oh, The Simpsons. Yeah, sorry.
Simpsons.
Yeah, exactly. So, my
the
goodness,
Treehouse
they're
of
letting
Horror.
There's Trees of Horror?
I have been working on my scary, with going to all these scary movies with you. So now that Halloween's here, I'm like, I got this.
Yeah, I know. We've seen a few. Well, what was?
We just
Smile.
saw Smile.
Yes, Smile. So what did you think?
Okay. Definitely better than I thought it was going to be.
Did you like it better than Barbarian or one of those other
Absolutely.
ones? Yeah. Same here.
There was no holes in the story, but it was because it wasn't over explained, but then not finished either. They just kind of let you
kind of deal with it what you will.
Let your imagination go with, there was no loopholes in the story, which I was getting frustrated with the movies that we have been seeing, which were loophole bad ending movies. So this fixed it. I like the ending, even though it's not a positive ending. I like the ending. It's probably how it should have happened.
Yeah.
And I think the acting was good. Very creepy. A lot of the jump scares were good.
Yeah, I had a few pretty good jump scares. I will say that.
Yeah, I would give it an A+, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought that
A+, or is it 5 stars? What's the?
Well, it depends. I think there's 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. You can have a plus. You can have I think 4 stars is usually what they do, or the thumbs up. You can have a thumbs down, a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Is it in a Z formation?
What do you mean?
That's in living color.
Oh. In a Z
formation. In a Z formation. That's right, man. I'm man's on film.
You are dating yourself right now.
I am dating myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it on Hulu.
It's okay. Most of our target audience is 40.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Exactly. No, I did like the movie. I thought it was good. What I didn't like is that like it was one of these movies that had a trailer that showed you everything of the movie.
That's...
So I mean, we're watching the movie, and I'm like, hey, this is, she parked her car in the front of this girl's house.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her sister. She's gonna be coming out right now, and she's gonna flail her head over her shoulder or something like that. Or this is when she goes through the coffee table, or and it was kind of like. It would have been better if they didn't really show as much, kind of like how they did with that Barbarian trailer.
So now, like, the Barbarian trailer was the opposite. You had no idea what was going on.
No idea. And I like that. That was kind of cool. Where, because I come from kind of always, like, wanting to know what the trailer has in it.
Yeah, you are.
Especially in a horror film, because they can be so...
bad?
Yeah, I mean, they're very subjective to me. Like, I don't know. Just, it's always the same thing, you know what I mean? And this one kind of had those same elements, had like the whole, there's a time that you have to try and figure this out in before something like the ring,
something, yeah. It's definitely a similar, if you're going in looking at it like, okay, it's kind of like a ring.
Because it's got a lot of those same elements.
I went in with it like, it's probably not going to be that great.
Yeah.
So like when you go into a movie going, whatever.
Yeah, low expectations.
It's low expectations, and then so when it is good, you're like, oh, well, shit, all right.
Yeah.
That was good.
And I mean, and to me, this was one of the better, it was one of the better horror movies where you went in, like, okay, let's see what this is all about, and came out like, all right, that was,
smiles,
I went in wanting to get something out of it being a horror movie, so I wanted a thrill or a chill or whatever, and it had a few good jump scares, you know what I mean? The story wasn't that bad at all. I mean, it was an interesting story. Her character,
like the actors.
Her character, like, geez, you could see the dread in her face the entire time. She's just like, and it was like, boy, they did a good job of making sure, she did a good job of showing that, and the whole aspect of the suicide and the trauma that they talk about, which is...
And, it's like how, like...
that was a good backstory.
I feel like, without giving away too much, they kind of show, like, how a demon enters our body and can take us over and like can kill our spirit, but like how that was kind of looked at in a physical way. But I could see like there could be more. You could go deeper
because her character
into it.
Wasn't even sure if she was somewhat possessed by this thing,
or
or if it was just coming from her own backstory,
right?
Which
because
was great,
it was just the people with trauma, which
creating
I find fascinating.
That's what everyone around her is saying that knew her, but like, dude. You just went through, you saw this in your childhood. This is what you're manifesting in your head. Because it wasn't, you hear, like, there's somebody smiling at me. Because that's kind of the concept that it was taking. And it's, someone on the outside's like, okay, someone's smiling at you, so what, But it's a weird smile, but it's like, it's not like, there's it didn't really get too in depth like that until later on.
Like where it came from. Although I have to say, all the demons and all the bad guys of all the movies that we've seen are all tall and like naked or like the Barbarian, the Witch, the Barbarian, and this movie all have like that lanky, long, naked girl, weird.
It's like a demented looking golem.
Yeah, I get a new scary dude. Get a new scary dude.
I mean, I did like the face of the thing at the end, the smile. It looked kind of cool.
The smile. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Yeah,
stuff,
for sure.
But
that was different.
Yeah.
I mean, each one was different, but it all kind of has the general concept. It's also like with the ring and the other one that has like the long black hair. What's the other one with the Grudge?
Oh, the Grudge. Yeah.
It's kind of like this. Like they all play off each other.
Yeah.
And
those were Japanese horror movies too. They always do that weird psychological stuff sometimes. Like there's a movie Parasite that's out right now, or it's been out for a while. It kind of does the same thing. It's like interesting how it's a lot of like mind manipulation, or even
I like that stuff.
Yes, some of it to me though can be like a little like
haunting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Trippy.
Well, like Midsummer. You know what I mean?
I've never watched the end of that. Now I'm brave enough to do that. We should watch that.
Well, yeah, since we started watching
That's when we watched that, like the first week we got married, and I was like, nope.
Yeah,
like halfway through, I was like, no, I'm not watching that.
Well, and it's a different kind of, because that's not like an average horror movie. That's like, that's just like a completely different.
It's like a mind, yeah.
It's a psychological mind F for sure.
Yeah, and you can almost see how someone could get like warped into thinking.
Because it's real people, and it kind of deals with this cult thing, and like they get to a certain age and they go up to this rock and just fall off and splat on the ground with their, and then like. The women and how they procreate, and then and these are the tourists that came here just to stay for a minute and do a paper on them, and then get caught up in it, and all the horror because it's in Sweden. It's during a time where they don't get a lot of darkness, so it's like all this horror is during daytime. You know what I mean? It's not the same element like being creeped out behind a person behind a tree, at night.
Right?
Yeah, and it's almost like too much where you're like. Ooh, it's like have to turn, not having sunglasses on.
I am like having
the sun.
Chills and the heebie-jeebies thinking about it.
It's kind of like a Handmaid's Tale, like breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. And like all the women are around
him. We're starting to watch the Handmaid's
we are.
Tale.
We don't need to get too much into that, I guess, maybe.
That'll be for next podcast.
Yeah, for sure. But that is interesting.
So much to talk about, so.
Yeah.
That's good, though. Yeah, so we,
That was good. On the Halloween front, we're seeing a few of these here.
I wish that the Halloween movie didn't have that bad actor in it because it would have been like a good other. Yeah, it would have been a good other one. That's for sure. The actors make a difference, definitely.
Oh yeah.
We saw Black Adam as well.
Yep, we did watch that one. Black Adam was pretty good.
And The Rock, who doesn't love The Rock? I mean.
Yeah, and as far as like the DC side of this stuff and the movies and stuff, this is probably one of the best that DC's come out. Shazam or Aquaman.
It's a lot. You're
not
going
to top Shazam. The Dark Knight. To me, you're not going to top the Dark Knight. Those are the best of the DC movies. But but this is probably better than all those other ones.
Definitely better than Morbius.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Well, that was Marvel, but still, yeah. I mean, anything is better than that movie. Yeah. Jeez.
I mean, superheroes is a superhero movie to me at the end.
Yeah.
Of the day. As I wear my Superman pants.
That's like the only thing that I'm having a problem with. Yeah. I know. Then I'm going to go as like Clark Kent, right?
Yeah, you are.
And then now I'm going to complain about how there's like too many of these damn things out here.
What?
Like, there's just so many superhero things. Like, it's great. Okay, and they do okay. Like Black Adam, it's pretty good, and like the Shai-Shing 10 Rings one, whatever. Yeah. Like, some of these are pretty good, but it's just that they have so many of these movies out now, they're just getting numbing. You know what I mean? That's the only issue I'm having. Like, with Black Adam, it was a good story. I mean, it's the similar story as them all. You know what I mean? Everyone's got this like harrowing tale of whether it's between father and son or being deprived of a life or whatever it is. They end up becoming somebody completely different than they were, and whether they have to confront the struggles in themselves. And in between are action scenes, and like they were good. The action scenes were good. The story was good. I mean, that the whole. Slow-mo part, and stuff like that. Like, they had a few cool set pieces. Yeah. I did like them. The problem I do have with some of these movies is that nothing sticks out anymore. Like, the last, good set piece I can remember was, Winter Soldier on the freeway sequence where, they got attacked and, that was when you first saw Winter Soldier and, it was a whole cool little sequence with it. But now they've just gotten so numbing. This one had a little different approach, and I thought that was okay. But there's just so many of these. It's like, even if the good ones come out, they get just, kind of thrown under the carpet with everything because, it used to be a movie came out in the summer. The summer big movie months when you saw anything like this was between Memorial Day and end of August, when school started, and maybe you saw one at Thanksgiving or Christmas. But now they come out at Deadpool comes out Valentine's Day. Black Adam just came out for Halloween weekend, or they're just all over the place. I just finished watching the She-Hulk series, and that almost felt like watching The Bachelor. But it's like there's so much of it now that you can't even appreciate it as much because
you want less.
Yeah, there used to be a lull between it, and then you at least got to sort of take a deep breath and go, "Oh wow, that's cool." But now there's just shoved in your face so much. It's like it's like eating your favorite snack consistently.
Always.
You know, like, yeah, always. I mean, eventually you're going to kind of get tired of it and like, okay, I got to try something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it feels. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did like the movie. I just, you know.
They're just like slapping them together.
All over the place, you know? And then you got like the Shazam one that's coming out here soon. And yeah, and then those two are
Shazam,
so confusing.
Though, that's
you know?
been like years since Shazam had. I'm excited about Shazam.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they haven't had this one out. You know,
I see what you're saying, but I also like to have like.
I feel dizzy now.
I know you were really passionate about that.
Where
Tell me
am
how
I?
you really feel.
Where are we? Okay.
So I
but
mean,
you did like it, yeah.
I enjoy,
and I do too.
Having a good movie to go see. Like, we're movie people, so.
Yeah, and I do enjoy going to them. Yeah, we are movie people.
I'm like
we
happy
for
that
sure.
they.
And I'm a sucker for these
I wish they were
things.
richer in story.
Yeah. And I'm a sucker for these things still, you know. But I'm
and I
almost
love The
on
Rock,
the.
so I'm glad he's like a superhero now. Like
Yeah, and I will. Yeah, I mean, and the you know, sometimes it's a story, sometimes it's the actor, sometimes hopefully it's both.
Yeah.
But I mean, he really did make that story and helped it. It's interesting. I don't know much about that character, but it's weird how it's tied into the
like
Shazam.
Shazam, like a lot of.
Shazam
I don't want to like
and,
give too much away because it's still in the theater, but yeah, it's a very similar.
And stay till the end.
Shazam, yes.
Stay till the end.
Yeah,
too.
the end's good.
I mean, like, you know, the post credits,
Yes.
whatever, you know, yeah.
That's the end, the end of
The
the
end,
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 to
end.
the end.
Because yeah, that's what it is now too. It's like, you know, you wait till the end, and then now half the time it's like, what are you still doing here?
Yeah.
You go
Like
home
Ferris
already. It's like
Bueller.
Ferris Bueller or something, you know. And they're just kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I was talking about She-Hulk. I'd watched that series.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I don't need to like talk all about it or anything, but it's interesting because yeah, I mean, it's almost like kind of hokey. It's almost like a Sex in the City superhero story. And I mean, so last night I was trying to finish watching it, and Kat's trying to go to bed, and she's like, "Can you turn that off? Because this is getting interesting. I want to watch it." And it was like an episode 2, like, you know, She-Hulk goes to a wedding, and she has to confront people. Is she going to be She-Hulk or is she going to be herself? You know, and it was kind of
It's like all these girls getting catty.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god!
And I'm like,
I swear
I'm
the
trying to
entire
go to
show is
sleep
not
'cause
like this.
I'm working out with the kids at 6 a.m. So I'm like, turn around, trying to go to sleep, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's 11:30, I can do this. And I like hear them like, why would you come to like that why would you be like that at my wedding? And like, this
You're
is not
overshadowed.
about you.
Yeah.
This is about
My
me
day.
and my wedding. And all of a sudden my eyebrows up. I'm like watching. I'm like, babe, you gotta
Chick's
go.
about to get hit.
I'm like, babe, you gotta go in the other room. This is too much drama. I can't like not look at it.
Yeah. All right, fine. I can turn up the TV. I
So
can turn up the
when
volume anyway.
I go to sleep earlier than you do, and you
Usually,
stay up later, and he has watched this without me, so I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah. Now you're gonna want to watch it.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, it's
Although
interesting.
you said it wasn't that great.
Well, I mean, I was kind of thinking about it. Like, I mean, it is interesting. You would like it. I mean,
I would like it because it's like girly.
Well, and it's funny because it really is just her story of, like, it's
She's
her
the niece of Hulk.
Essentially, the entire series really is just like her backstory.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the entire thing is like what you might get in the first 10 minutes of a regular movie. It's like so it shows her how she became Hulk, and then it's like her trying to date. You know, she gets a job because she was a lawyer, so she gets hired on at this firm that like represents superheroes. So she starts working there, and then she's like trying to
like
date using the
superheroes are
dating
everywhere.
app, and whether or not she wants to date as Jen or she wants to date as She-Hulk. And, you know, and then so she doesn't get any likes under Jen herself, so she wants to go under She-Hulk, and she gets a lot. And then this Tatiana, the girl, ends up punching her at the wedding. She was suing She-Hulk because she claimed copyright that She-Hulk, and then so now She-Hulk had to prove that she's been using that title, and since she had the dating app under She-Hulk and was showing herself as She-Hulk, and the guys were dating her as She-Hulk, it showed that she could keep the name. And then at the wedding, she gets into a fight with her. And then there's Leapfrog, who wants to try and do this and that. And then it ends up with Daredevil. And then there's an end. No, but at the end. No, joking. So, like, what was good, yeah, so all these little things were happening.
Yeah, okay.
It introduces Daredevil, which is a character in the movie. He's like a blind lawyer. by day, and then he's
blind.
Daredevil. Yeah, and he uses all of his other senses to blah, blah, blah.
I didn't know that.
That's his character, yeah. Ben Affleck originally played him, and it was kind of a crap movie. But it was funny. I like Jon Favreau because he was in it. But his character's introduced, and they sort of end up having a relationship. Well, they do.
Not just sort of, but they do.
They do, whether it's going to be an ongoing one. But
is there going to be like another season of this?
Yeah, there's going to be another season. But like, it was interesting the way they did the ending, because they actually kind of made fun of all of the other endings of a Marvel movie, and this is a Marvel story.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wait, the guy, because there's like a guy that was trying to get her blood so he could become one just like she did.
Right.
And so at the end he does, and then she stops everything, and it's like, wait, does this have to be how the ending is? This can't be. And then they do a whole thing where you all of a sudden you see just the front of like the Disney menu on your TV screen with all the different things to watch. And she's like, wait, hold on. You can't just, I'm totally this is like the last episode though. But they do a whole thing where like, she punches through one of the menu keys of She-Hulk and is like, no. I want to change the way this is. And then sees like the Marvel Assembled TV show down here and swings over, kicks it open, goes inside, demands to see Kevin Feige, who's like the executive producer of Marvel. She ends up going to see him, and it's an AI unit. And it's like, yeah. And she's like, listen, all these Marvel movies have to end the same. He's always going to take the serum. Oh, did we do this in Captain America with the super serum? When are we going to introduce X-Men? Like all these little things. You're like, oh my gosh, dude, this is totally getting hokey. But it was kind of clever, and they totally played them, were making fun of themselves.
Oh, that's good.
It was kind of funny, but yeah, they ended up, it's good there'll be a second season, but the whole thing really felt like nothing but just a backstory. But it was, I don't know.
Was it an interesting backstory?
It's funny. I will say it was kind of funny. And the girl, her friend or whatever, it's what's her face? I've seen her in other things. I think she was like a child actress too or something like that. I can't remember. The girl with the black hair.
I know. I thought she was a singer.
Vanessa something.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I probably should have looked that up.
Yeah.
But they were funny. But they were a pretty funny team. And there was a lot of funny banter and stuff. But it was different than a lot of these other shows had been. But I guess that's kind of the way they're going. Like WandaVision was like that. Yeah. Remember, it was totally just out there.
I liked WandaVision though.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. I think like when I look back on all these other shows, they have been kind of going about it in a different way. So I guess it's kind of cool they do it that way. It's just...
It's always about their backstory.
Well, in this one, like, she does a lot of talking directly to the camera. And it's like, is this a John Hughes movie? You know what I mean? It's like John Cusack in High Fidelity here. Like, that's like the monologue, or, when's Psychedelic Furs going to come in?
He created that style. They're just like going, with it.
And I think that's, they're kind of like doing that, which is,
because it's a lot of like reality TV and like YouTube talking to the camera. Like, that's real popular.
And that's what this show has been doing. She talks directly a lot. You know, and it's funny. You would like it. You definitely would like it.
Yeah, I couldn't go to sleep. I was like, please go in the other room. I need to go to sleep. Please go in the other room. I want to watch, I'd like to, get a couple of scary movies in the next couple of days. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I would maybe try Paranormal Activity.
We watched the first one. So you want to watch 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh wait, no, we'll skip 3.
Might as well go to 2. You've seen them all, huh?
Yeah, I saw
3 sucked?
3 was okay.
Second one's about the sister,
was
right?
The fourth? The fourth one was
with the baby.
The second one is with her family. So the first one is just the guy wants to, the boyfriend, girlfriend are filming what might be in their house, and then blah, blah, blah ensues. The second one is kind of like, it's set at the same time as the first one, but it's the girl's family that is now involved with this while it was actually happening at the same time with them. Because at one point, the first one, like, they're supposed to burn a photo and do something and wish it off to somebody else. Yeah. And in the second one, you find out that it was her family or her sister that got infected with it, I think. Or, well, no, it was a sister or something like that.
So by this fifth
one... Or she didn't,
it
wasn't the sister, it was the girlfriend herself who had
How many of them are there?
There's
4,
like 6.
5, 6?
Because I think we watched like the very last one. You know, I remember it was like on Paramount Plus or something like that, and I thought we watched it.
I don't know.
You may have fallen asleep.
I probably
don't know.
did.
But it was like, because it was like kind of, and it was different. I can't remember that one. To tell you the truth.
You were like not scared of anything. You were like, get up, go.
Those ones are the ones that get me.
Them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it, but if I get creeped out, those are the ones that do it.
Yeah.
Like Paranormal Activity or the Blair Witch Project or something like that. Because to me, it's like it just feels like reality. Yeah, you know. Because I mean, there's scenes in like Paranormal Activity where like after they shut the door and leave, and it's the small things where it's just like a pin, and then all of a sudden it just like go, and then it sets up the next scene, and then it gets worse, And it's like, it's those little things that are like, oh man, because those
Chilling.
what you don't
when
see.
When they run at the camera.
Yeah, when you see it. And in the second one, that's when she does it. Like on the sister. Oh, and it's like like I always rewind it like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh man. Yeah. So, and what do we have to watch for the kids? We got Others? Is that what
I got the Others last night because it's with Nicole Kidman and it's PG-13.
Yeah.
But it's like it's set during like World War II, and she's waiting for her husband to come home, and they're in this house, and her children can't. They're like, it's that disease where they can't be exposed to sunlight.
Okay.
It'll burn the skin or something like that. So I always have to keep the windows closed and sheltered or whatnot. And like things are going on. There's like spirits, and they're not sure what's happening and stuff like that. And it's got a great ending. It's got a really good. It's got a good ending.
I was saying that I need to.
I'm not necessarily saying happy, but I'm saying a good ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I need to see some movies with some good endings.
Yeah. Well, we got that, and then what else? Oh, I got that one, and then Keanu.
Oh yeah.
We gotta
watch
comedy. That one. Yep. Some Jordan Peele. We got Nathaniel. Nope. That's another one we might watch later. That might be a good.
Yeah.
one.
Nope was good. We've already reviewed Nope, but yes.
Nope is dope. That was our review. Nope is dope. That'll be good. So what else do we have going on here? Jeez.
I know, we actually went through that all. What are we at? We're like 42 minutes, babe.
Wow. We did pretty good. Was I like talking like an auctioneer? Or did we just like, were we cohesive enough to like make it through without like what?
You know what? I did not mention that I liked The House Sitter with Steve.
Oh yeah, Goldie Hawn.
That one is good. Her.
We totally need to do a Steve Martin kick.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, I love her. I love them in that one. I would really be watching it to watch her.
Yeah, well, Goldie Hawn's pretty fun. I watched that video you sent me the other day.
With her.
Like the Monday relieving or whatever.
She's like, this is
bounce on the trampoline.
Yeah, it's like, relax, bounce on the trampoline. And then you could go into, if you don't have weights, go in your kitchen, grab your wine bottle, and lift them over your head and back down. It's basically weights. I mean, it really is. It's like 5 pounds each. It's wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love her. I just want to like hug her.
I know. I was like looking at the likes or whatever. It's like 8,000.
Oh, I just like So House Sitter, yep, definitely.
That would be a good one.
Over, what did I say? So it's Father of the Bride and Roxanne. House Sitter over Roxanne. I take back my.
Roxanne was another one.
You said L.A. Story.
L.A. Story.
Pre-production.
Yep. L.A. That's another one he wrote.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He wrote
and Bowfinger. Bowfinger's another great one.
He's so talented.
He's fun. I mean, and he's a novelist too.
Wow.
He wrote a book called Shop Girl, and that actually became a movie with him and Claire Danes.
Oh.
It's like she's a shop girl, and he comes in, and they become friends.
How cool is that? Is you write something and it becomes a movie?
I know.
That's so amazing.
You have like that power.
Wow. And like multiple times. And he still is so charming and humble.
Yeah, it's like both of them, like just well respected.
It's just
you know
really
what I mean?
great. Yeah. I just love
it. I can't imagine them like people are, out there like, oh dude, don't ever work with Steve Martin and Martin. They're complete dicks. You know what I mean? Like they don't seem like a J-Lo.
They just seem nice and sweet.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how Selena Gomez is such a wonderful actress and they love doing that show.
Oh,
with her.
Only Murders in the Building. I can't wait for the 3rd season. Yeah. And now it's got Paul Rudd.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Like Steve Martin's son.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good.
I was telling you that the other day. I want to rewatch that series again.
Yeah.
I love that show. I love that show.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut us off here.
Let's do it.
We got to do a little Jesus Calling because it's Let's Party prayer and punk rock.
That's right. We do.
So if you would do us the honors.
I will. I was going to read today's, which is, we're on October 29th, depending on when you're listening here.
But it's our Halloween show, so.
Yeah, Halloween. Linger in my presence a while. Rein in your impulses to plunge into today's activities. Beginning your day alone with me is essential preparation for success. A great athlete takes time to prepare himself mentally for the feat ahead of him before he moves a muscle. Similarly, your time of being still in my presence equips you for the day ahead of you. I said that word perfect. Only I know what will happen to you this day. I have arranged the events you will encounter as you go along your way. If you are not adequately equipped for the journey, you will grow weary and lose heart. Relax with me a while. I ready you for your action. Zechariah 2:13. Be still before the Lord, all mankind, because he has roused himself from his holy dwelling. Ephesians 2:10 says, for we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. In Hebrews 12:3, consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. So verses come into play.
Enduring, whatever it is that you are having to endure in life is, that is you're only capable of doing that if you are able to linger with the Lord and ready yourself for that walk, so he's going to prepare you. He's got a plan for you. You have your own will, right? You're going to be able to do your own, whatever you want, but he has an overall sight and plan for your life.
Right.
And he's going to hope and pray that you come pray and you guys can walk together. That's what I see in that.
You think people get confused thinking that, oh, well then if everything's predestined, there's just fate, so nothing I choose is going to happen because everything you're saying is pre-planned.
Pre-planned for me. Yeah, I think that can be misconstrued and taken a different way for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that, he knows what we're going to do, but
yeah,
I don't think he's today, he is.
We have free will.
And yeah, we have free will. He's, I think, because it is interesting where he says, only I know what will happen to you this day. He's not saying, necessarily that he has planned what he knows that, he thinks you should do. He just knows what you're going to do, and he knows what's there ahead of you, and he wants to equip you, whether or not, because he knows if, like we were talking about, in the morning we may say, okay, I got to go to the grocery store. I've got to drop the kids off at school. I've got to take the dog to the vet and then, come home, but we may not get to the grocery store or to the vet or, whatnot. And whether or not we make it to those things, God has equipped us whether we get there or not, and, our day might be equipped with having a great one. It might be equipped with get ready to feel like an idiot. Or be ready to have this negativity towards you, or get ready to have the struggle today. Today is not grace. Today is struggle.
He's with you.
Whatever
he
it
knows
is.
you. He knows what you want.
He equips you.
And he's available to you to linger in his presence so you can deal with your day.
Yeah.
So,
and don't get frustrated, with the things that happen about the day, or if you when you're talking to somebody about Jesus or whatnot, like how they mention the athlete doesn't, an athlete doesn't just go out there and perform. He's got to prepare. He's got to practice. He's got to, get his body in motion and work out and strengthen and condition and do all those things that are needed for him to compete with other people that he want, on the same playing field, the same level, and we as Christ followers, we can't just necessarily go out there and just start talking about God without knowing what we're talking about. God doesn't want to be misrepresented. That's how I look at it. You can talk about God, but God wants you to know what you're talking about. He doesn't want you to be like, yeah, God, will provide you Skittles if you ask him for it. No, you got to understand who God is and what he is available for and how he gives you grace and how he prepares you for these things. And some days, whether or not you believe in God, he's preparing you for I'm preparing you and I'm trying to strengthen you. So when you become weary and discouraged and all these other things, you know, whether it be from the day or from trying to talk to someone about me and they're putting their finger in your face or whatever, you know, not to be discouraged and to have that strength and practice to know what to do.
He's always available to
and come to me, exactly. You know, let me linger there so that way when I'm needed, I'm right there, you know, because I always forget that. We talk about this all the time. You know, I say my prayer in the morning, but then, you know, throughout the day, it's like, man, I got to remember when I get frustrated, you know.
Yeah.
Lord, you know, okay, here, let's pretend like we're back in the morning here, because I always feel great in the morning, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And praying throughout the day, just talking to him. And just talking to him is prayer.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to stop what you're doing. Right.
Although that's fun.
Yeah, you could be doing it while driving, you know, or, you know, whatnot, or anywhere.
I do it a lot while I'm driving.
Yeah, same
Or
here.
like I worship, like car radio. I get in the car today and Jack's like, KCBI. I'm like, oh boy. You know the Christian channel jingle.
That's funny.
And I actually had it on like an alternative rock station. So I was like, love that his first go-to is like the Christian channel.
Right. He turned it to it?
Well, he just sang the jingle.
What he's That's funny.
He assumed I was listening to KCBI.
Oh, but it wasn't on there.
Right, it was like the alternative station.
That's funny.
Nirvana was playing or something.
I didn't know they were a Christian band. They're not, son. No.
So
just joking.
Are we going out with today?
Well,
we're gonna gimme.
Yeah, we thought we'd gimme it out, right?
Told them what we're gonna do, right?
Yep, we're gonna throw on some Boys to Men here.
Boys to Men.
Because
Boys to Men
reminds me of my sister. Corone's Jams.
Yeah.
Hi, Corone.
Yeah.
Corone Baloney.
It's like middle school for me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like.
You could do the Boys to Men dance.
Be like, do like the side. But this one was more like they were out in the open field, like, you know, now we go! You know, they had their hands up in the air, right?
Oh man, but it's so powerful. There's so much emotion.
And this was probably like everybody's graduation song, you know?
Yeah, end of the road.
Yeah. See you next year. It's like everybody's was like Green Day, like what was the song? You know, help you have the time of you.
Yeah.
Like for years that was like everybody's song. It's funny.
Yeah.
But no, yes, we are gonna go out with another Me First song. And it's called End of the Road by Boys to Men. Originally. This is a cover song, by the way.
Yeah.
We didn't actually mention it at the beginning of the show. I'm Drew.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Let's Party, Prayer, and Punk Rock.
Yeah, it is.
Have a great week, guys. Love ya.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Darling, you complete me, but you make a lot of assumptions. And when you assume things, you make an ass out of you and me. Don't make an ass out of me. We belong together, and you know that I'm right. Why do you play with my heart? Why do you play with my mind? Said we'd be forever, said it'd never die. How could you love me and leave me and never say goodbye? When I can't sleep at night without holding you tight, girl, each time I try, I just break down and cry. Pain in my head, oh, I'd rather be dead. Spinning around and around. Although we've come to the end of the road, still
so wasted we passed out. I got that gnarly sunburn.
Yeah!
It was so ghetto. Railer. But ever since then, I'm totally back in you. You're the bitchin', you fully blaze. We got a radical future in front of us. I'm so stoked.
Yeah!